Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another Tesla electric car video with me, Adam Uninformed. Some of you will know I currently drive a 2021 Tesla Model 3 and I'm in no rush to change it for a new Tesla Model Y. Also a thought. So what's got me doubting that position? Well, Tesla could be about to make a major shift in what I call the value proposition with this new Tesla Model Y. And that has me interested indeed. With the new official Model Y data we have available to us, some unverified insights and some serious investigative work, this Tesla Model Y is making one's mouth moist at the prospect of this new Model Y variant. So the way I want to set this video out is to firstly shine light into my current mindset and why I should probably stick with my Model 3. And then I want to talk about the current Model Y variants and why they're not convincing me enough to upgrade today. And finally, I want to cover this new Model Y build that could be simply just too irresistible to turn down. If I go ahead, do I tell my wife before I click the order button? Is that a dangerous game? Asking for a friend. Now, if you're wondering what my value proposition means, I did a pretty awesome and unique take between the 2022 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus and the Tesla Model 3 Long Range just a few videos ago. It isn't just stats for stats, but a true reflection of how each model would stack up in a real world scenario. Off the back of it, I thought it would just really help car buyers analyse if spending the extra money for the long range was truly worth it for them in their own circumstances. So without further ado, let's find out what's so special about this new Tesla Model Y. Honestly, I was really impressed with my investigative skills for this video, and you'll see what I mean when I discuss the Model Y later in the video. Do feel free to skip there now if you don't want to understand my thoughts on the Model 3 or why I don't want to upgrade to an existing Model Y variant right now. So at present, well, before I heard of this new Tesla Model Y, my current mindset is to stick with my Tesla Model 3. This was despite being asked many times by viewers why I actually haven't put an order in for a new Model 3 or a Model Y. The residuals for my vehicle is holding up pretty well, and an up-to-date trade-in figure estimate from Tesla is about $1,000 less than what I paid for my vehicle over 15 months ago. Others in a similar position have equally used this opportunity to either move on to the next trim, so in my case it would be the Tesla Model 3 Long Range or the Performance, or equally some have moved on to the Model Y Long Range. So why has my current position been to hold, and why have I been keen to fend off temptation of upgrading? Well, firstly, Tesla's innovations are constant, so whilst a BMW, Mercedes, Ford or any other traditional automaker will produce new model variants all the time, they tend to do a mini refresh of their models around 2 to 3 years and then do a full refresh of that model in around a 5-year cycle. Tesla, on the other hand, do mini variations of specs within months apart, and usually with that there is a bigger spec change between each model year, so 2020, 2021, 2022, etc., with a bigger refresh taking effect around the 4 to 5 year point. Therefore, Tesla don't actually hang around to make new hardware or software additions available to its consumers. This is great for a new consumer, as you always seem to gain some new hardware changes you didn't know you were going to get at the time of placing your order, but primarily because it offers you a more feature-packed Tesla vehicle than the Tesla vehicle delivered just a month ago. I've spoken about this before, and as a Tesla owner, I feel you just have to accept that your car will only be the most up-to-date Tesla model for just a few months. There will always be a more feature-packed Tesla around the corner. However, that's not a bad thing, because sticking with my current Model 3 still means that I actually gain access to any Model 3 software updates. So whilst I don't have the hardware additions, I still see the gains and advantages of software updates. It's not that I don't want those hardware upgrades, it's just the hardware gains from a new Model 3 is pretty marginal for me, especially given the price increases. Pricing is always going to be a major factor with any sort of car upgrade. This process is no different, so what is actively going to make me want to pay for a new Model Y? Is there actually going to be a new, cheaper Model Y on its way? Here in the UK, we have 2 Model Y trims. We have the Long Range and the Performance, and this is the same over in the US and Europe. But funnily enough, this is not the case in China or Hong Kong. We'll get to the saucy stuff in a minute, folks. But what does the Model Y offer right now for me? At this very second, if we're looking at Tesla UK's offering, the Long Range starts at $54,990 or $62,990 US, and that delivers around 330 miles range, whether that's EPA or WLTP. That's a 60-mile range increase for me. slightly more interior space, more storage space, and a hatchback boot, plus all the hardware upgrades since my 2021 build, such as the heated steering wheel, the AMD Ryzen chip, the new 12-volt lithium-ion battery. Overall, it's well documented that whilst there are differences between the two vehicles, they share something like over 70% of the parts. The small SUV style car offers more space and storage capabilities than the Model 3, and under my household, it's primarily used as the family car. So these changes are attractive to me. However, turning that on its head, I don't struggle with what the Model 3 gives me at this very moment. So whilst I do love everything the long range Model 3 has to offer, I don't think I can justify the gains in the usual spaces, etc., all for the price tag that's on offer. I'm not saying the Model Y is not good value, not at all. I'm just literally reflecting on my own situation. The Model 3 does everything that I ask of it, and it works around my family life just fine. It doesn't hold me back. Yeah, the range buff would be nice, but I'm not sure I'd stretch the legs of it enough to actually warrant that range buff anyway. I'm effectively paying more money for a bigger battery that I'd see less benefit from. Therefore, I'm of the frame of mind that I have the perfect car for my needs at this given time. That's until news broke of this new Tesla Model Y. Introducing the Tesla Model Y all-wheel drive. Not to be confused with the long-range Model Y, which is also all-wheel drive. This trickled into the US Fuel Economy Gov website just this week, and whilst official details are scarce until a official Tesla reveal, we do know this vehicle will have 278 miles EPA rated range, but there is no official pricing at this given time. So if this is all the official info that we have, why could this vehicle twist my arm? Okay folks, here's where we're going to get saucy. I'm going to use some investigative skills and just bounce off some unofficial reports, which has just really hyped me up for this one for sure. So what makes this Model Y so special? I believe this vehicle will be cheaper than the long range Model Y for two reasons. First reason relates to efficiency, and the second reason relates to the battery pack. Stick with me and I'll explain this reason why. The biggest cost to an electric car is the battery pack. If a manufacturer increases the battery pack, this usually converts into more range, but that can also come with a sacrifice to vehicle efficiency, as a bigger pack adds weight to the car, and this essentially means that it will need to consume more energy to drive the heavier car further. Now we know this new Model Y has less range than the long range variant. This can be from less batteries, or they've made changes to the efficiency, or even both. Taking away batteries from the vehicle means less weight to be pushed around, which then results in better efficiency and utilization of a smaller battery pack. If you look at the EPA comparison, the MPGe, which is a form of energy efficiency in the US, the combined city and highway is identical at 122 MPGe. Therefore, the new variant would deliver near identical range using the same amount of energy. To make life easier, we can see the quote for every 28 kilowatt hours of battery power, it would equate to around 100 miles. But if the battery pack has decreased, we'd expect to see a drop in the range, but with an increase in the energy efficiency. Yet that hasn't occurred for this particular case. This is slightly head scratching because, using my quick and simplified explanation, it just doesn't make sense in this scenario. But there is another logical explanation for the drop in the range and attaining the same efficiency rating. That's because I believe Tesla is utilizing the same LFP style battery pack from the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Why is this significant? Well, LFP battery packs are heavier and less energy dense than the NCM batteries used in the long range and performance batteries today, but they are known to be more rugged, and the best part that should make your ears prick is that the LFP packs are actually cheaper in theory. Without getting into the details, the battery chemistry forms of minerals that are more widely available and so cheaper to produce and to buy. So if Tesla dropped the battery pack capacity from what's currently available with the Model Y long range NCM battery, this ultimately would sacrifice range. The battery pack is then also less energy dense than the NCM battery of the long range because of this LFP chemistry. It would be heavier in a like-for-like scenario, but because the LFP pack capacity is smaller, there is next to no weight savings due to the heavier nature of the LFP batteries. Therefore, to me at least, this would explain why the range is lower from the smaller battery pack, but the efficiency is the same due to the weight of the LFP battery pack being on par with the bigger but lighter NCM battery pack. Is the LFP battery pack going to be compatible with the Model Y, you may ask? Absolutely, this is entirely possible because they actually already sell a Model Y with an LFP pack. But Adam, I thought you said the long range and the performance Model 3s are sold with the NCM battery packs only.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Yes, in the UK, Europe and the US, these are the only trims available. But if we broaden our horizons, Tesla actually sell a LFP rear-wheel drive Model Y in China and Hong Kong. Now, if you head over to the Tesla Hong Kong website, it actually stipulates a 455 kilometer WLTP range. If you convert that back to miles, we get 282 miles for the rear-wheel drive variant. If you rule out the WLTP to differences to EPA for this vehicle, on the basis that the long-range Model Y is presently rated within 1 mile of the WLTP rated range, this vehicle delivers 4 more miles than the newly registered EPA rated all-wheel drive version, being that 278 mile variant. However, there is another major factor that we haven't considered here, and that's the all-wheel drive facility. This will mean that there'll be another motor on the front axle to deliver that all-wheel drive experience. So not only is there going to be extra weight from that, there's also going to be another motor that will demand power from the battery pack. So I'd expect to see a decrease in the vehicle efficiency again, which leads me to an unofficial source to back my theory. Whole Miles Catalog on Twitter has reported that the firmware covers a Model Y with an LFP structural battery pack. Without getting into the technicalities of a structural pack, the battery becomes part of the car structure, eliminating parts from a traditional build, leading to weight savings. This isn't the only reference to the implementation of a structural battery pack either though. The Driven reported in January that references to a structural pack had actually been placed into the US and German Tesla manuals. This then adds weight to my argument for sure that we have a LFP and structural pack Model Y on its way, potentially. See what I did there? Weight adds weight. I'm really sorry for using that joke, guys. I just had a real bad dad joke urge to use that. This weight saving from the structural pack should then swing the efficiency to a more healthier state. The weight saving should then swing the efficiency to a more healthier state. So rather than seeing a drop in efficiency from having an added motor, it's also mitigated by the inclusion of the structural pack. And if true, this would really just demonstrate the strength of Tesla's engineering. Literally, they'll be adding a new motor with little to no efficiency losses. Potentially, if I'm right. Now we've been through the new Model Y official data and my investigative conclusion of what this new Model Y could ultimately materialize into. What does this mean to you as a new customer and to me as an interested Tesla owner? I said it earlier, cost was a major factor when buying a new car. Inflation in general and Tesla's prices have been jumping quite considerably recently, and this variant being introduced could have the scope to drop this into a new cheaper price bracket. It was literally only last week when I raised this on Twitter as a potential reason for why Tesla were increasing their prices so considerably. Little did I know my prediction would grow legs so soon. The combination of the smaller and cheaper battery pack will give it most of the wiggle room to lower the price, but also the introduction of the structural pack will give it additional wiggle room as well. Whilst this is mostly prediction work, it begs the question, are we on the verge of a sub £50,000 Model Y? Both the long range Model 3 and Model Y are priced at £54,990 here in the UK, and the Model 3 SR Plus is priced at £45,990. If this was priced at £49,990, it would sit between both ranges quite nicely without eating into the long range demand of either model. At that price point, I'd gain a mere 20 miles, but I get access to that more robust LFP pack, the size advantages for both the cabin and the storage, and all the other advantages that I mentioned earlier, plus the all-wheel drive performance. Without it eating into the long-range acceleration times, maybe we can expect a mid to low 5-second 0 to 60 time too, which is about the same as what I have for my Model 3 SR Plus. To conclude, if my predictions come to fruition, will the value proposition swing significantly to justify a switch to a Model Y? I absolutely think so. If I predict this was to come online and be delivered in the next 3 months, then based on my existing residuals and equity baked in, this variant would cost me as little as £10 more a month than I do present. All of them changes and adjustments without adding more to the table, and just using the car to upgrade to that new model. I think the value proposition sells itself here at this point. On the same terms, I'll be paying £100 more a month for the Model Y long range, and even so, I won't be actually seeing that range boost or the acceleration benefit enough to actually justify the price. This is why value proposition should be considered when analysing whether to upgrade to a new car or in this particular case to a Tesla Model Y. Overall, I really hope my prediction is right. I'm also really interested in what you guys think about this new Tesla Model Y. Does this prediction have legs or does it not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you don't know what to comment, you can simply comment Inspector Well Informed and I'll give you a cheeky thumbs up for getting this far in the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends and family if you found it useful. Otherwise, you've been great. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.